All right. We are coming towards the latter part of the program. This is a wonderful honor to present a very important award. It is called the Sue Kunitomi Embrey Legacy Award. And just as Dale talked about the people who blaze trails, this person who's the recipient of the award this year, somebody who is a living legacy, like so many of the big sisters and cousins who are here today who've really blazed a trail. I am so lucky, I feel, to know this person and to learn from this guy. He's somebody who is sometimes brash, really blunt, comes from a long history of organizing with workers, was an early member of Nikkei for Civil Rights and Redress for many years and still is to this day very active with NCRR. He is a writer, a storyteller. I just have to share a quick anecdote. I got to work on a show earlier this year called Tales of Clamor, and it is a show, I got to work on that with JACCC and with NCRR as partners, and it's really a story about silence and noise. And in it, we utilize video footage from the LA Commission hearings in 1981 that led to redress. And it was testimonies that were very, very powerful. And we knew that we had to have this one part shown. Out of over 26 hours, we could only have a few minutes of an edit in this show. But there was a guy who was about to speak, and the commissioners at the hearings were getting tired, and they were asking the people who spoke Japanese to turn in their testimonies and not speak out loud. They were asking people to hurry up. And that was a mistake, because they said this right before this guy came up. And he said, "I will not be hurried by you. I will not be hurried by you as a representative of this government ever." And he slammed the table, and you can see all the people like jump. And when we showed that, and we had conversations after the show, and we were able to point to the guy who's still around who did that, people were like, "What?" He was such a rock star. Nobody wanted to meet us. They all wanted to meet this guy after the show. And so it should be. Our community heroes, the ones that leave us a legacy. And it is so great and wonderful to honor this person. Let's hear it now for Jim Matsuoka.
I thought I was going to get a wave or something like that. I really came all the way out here to honor Sue Embrey. Sue Embrey and I go back a long ways. We were both members of the JACL Progressive West Side chapter. And at that time, the big issue was the grape strike. And of course, we wanted the JACL to support Cesar Chavez and the grape strike workers. Central California, which was run by the Nisei Farm Workers League and Harry Kubo, was adamantly against that. So we had a situation where the JACL was almost going to split in half. But Sue was very adamant about it, and we got most of the Southern California chapters to go along with supporting the grape strikers, but we never really fully managed to get all of the JCL on board. Many years later, I had an opportunity to meet Cesar Chavez, and that happened because I was working at Cal State Long Beach, and it was Friday night. It was Friday afternoon, and the campus was pretty empty, you know. But members of the La Raza students came to me and they said, we have Cesar Chavez coming on, and he's going to be at the Oak Room, and all the bigwigs are gone, so we're going to have to ask you to go over there. So, being a small little nothing, I said, oh, that's fine, you know, it's a great honor. And I got in line, and when I finally got to the front of it, I said, Mr. Chavez, it's a great pleasure and honor to meet you. And I told him about what Sue and I had done, and the fact that I sat and watched all of the debates between him and Harry Kubo. And when I was finished with that, you know, Cesar Chavez really lit up. And he said, you know something, you said it was an honor to meet me. He says, well, I think it's an honor to meet you. And I sure wish Sue Embrey was here so that I could share that story with her. You know, back in 1969, we came all the way out this way to remember what our people suffered and to not forget. And we learned that the pilgrimage, essentially, is what you and I want to make of it, you know. And a question was put to me a few years back when I was speaking and urging people at the Corona Mosque to go on the pilgrimage. Somebody asked me, what do I get out of it? And I said, well, at that time, I said, you can only search within yourself to see what you stand for. But I think things have changed a lot. I think now we need to see Manzanar and the Manzanar pilgrimage almost as a voice for unity. We need to unite because we need to get together with all of us who give a damn about the direction of this country and where it's headed. I think with all of you, so many of you headed today, we can forge a new spirit for America. We need to really speak up. You know, we need to speak up for the people who aren't the 1%, and that means me, you know. And that means most of you, because you ain't making that kind of money. We need to speak up for people who have to have 2 jobs just to make the rent. We need to speak up for those who have a serious illness, and that means the end of your American dream. Let me tell you something, our health system sucks. Yeah. You don't believe that, just wait around and see what happens. We need to speak up for renters who have nothing left except hunger. And we need to speak up for students who are going to have nothing left when they pay for their education many, many years from now. And we also need to speak up for the elderly whose Social Security checks leave them in stark poverty. Also for the single parent who also bequeaths a lifetime of want for their children. And I ask you, what sort of society is that? I think we need to start somewhere, and we need to start with a spirit, not so much of hate and division, but one of inclusion. We all need to be brothers and sisters with each other. And as I have told my friends at the Corona Mosque, no one can tell you to go back where you came from because you are already home. This place belongs to all of us, all of us. And we reject the call of those people who call for exclusion and those idiots that want to build a bigger wall. You know, if anything doesn't get you fuming, that should do it. Well, I want to thank all of you for coming today, and I hope as you look to the right and left of you, you see a brother or a sister. And as I say, when you see me, you might say, hey Jim, it was a great pleasure to meet you. And I'll say, just like Cesar Chavez said, it's a great honor and pleasure for me to meet you. So there we have it. Thank you so much for the Manzanar Committee. To all of you who are here, my brothers and sisters, may peace be with you.